started. Hi, everybody. This is Darcy Eikenberg, and I'm the founder of RedCapeRevolution.com, and welcome again to our series of occasional interviews with people that I just think are bringing their superpowers to work, that are really examples of creating clarity, of building confidence, and taking control in their lives and their careers. So I have with me today Todd Schnick of the Intrepid blog. So welcome, Todd.
Hi, Darcy. It's good to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, so Todd, tell me, when you talk about being intrepid, what does that really mean to you in your work?
Darcy, what I'm trying to do with my clients and in the education that I try to put out on the blog and through all the interviews that I do is I want people to be fearless. I want them to be bold, audacious. I want them to try to achieve big things. And being intrepid is what that means. And a lot of people ask me what Intrepid, where I got the name from, and they think, was it after the Dodge cars and after the aircraft carrier moored in the Hudson River? No, it was after the lunar lander on Apollo 12, which was the second spacecraft to land on the moon, the Intrepid. And that's just kind of connotates this big idea and this bold vision and overcoming huge obstacles to fulfill a massive policy goal of this country. And so I think it all just rings together. And it's just about not being afraid to fail. It's being bold and trying to do some big things with not only your life but with your business. I think so many people are so timid and they're so afraid of failing, of being laughed at in the world. And I just say, it's all about just getting out there, trying things, recognizing that most of the time people aren't even going to notice if you step on your toe. They're busy living their own lives too, So for me, what I do with my clients is I try to help them become intrepid marketers and get out there and do big and bold things because I think that just strengthens their brand.
Yeah, well, and it. Todd, as I should have mentioned at the beginning, so you are a marketing strategist, but also you're a radio show host, you're a speaker, you are a social media expert, but I know that in your background you had what some people may say, maybe more traditional, maybe not, but you had jobs in politics and with more traditional or corporate-y type marketing. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about how did bringing more clarity, bringing more confidence, help you get from there to here?
Yeah. Well, clarity is such an important part of who I've become over the last several years. I've made some big changes in my life. I had a little bit more of a traditional background. I had a nice job in a high rise in downtown Atlanta. What I couldn't do, Darcy, when I was in that role was be intrepid. I had to follow the company policy. I had to follow these expectations and the rules that corporate world kind of bestows on you, which is not a bad thing. It just wasn't my thing. But what I can do now that I have my own business, that I can chart my own path, is I can decide what matters. I can decide what's important, and so clarity becomes essential to following that path. And I've made some, as I said, dramatic changes in my life and in my business, and I've almost applied minimalist principles to how I conduct my life and my business, and how I try to teach my clients. And minimalism really means stripping away the clutter to focus on what's truly important. And you obviously can apply that to your business as well. Think about a marketing strategy that says, all right, we're going to chase after every new bells and whistles and every new shiny object, and we're going to try every single conceivable social media tool out there. That isn't the right course to take. You need to strip down and say what really works, what really matters, what means something to my target audience. So clarity is essential in terms of how you conduct your marketing. It's also important towards your vision of what is your company really all about. What is the one thing that we should be known for? What's the one thing that we ought to be recognized in the community for, and how we can best serve our clients? And it's also about focusing on a very specific niche I think too many people get out there in the world and say, I want to serve everybody because there's more business opportunity that way. Where I'll make the argument that it's absolutely the wrong principle to take. It's the mechanic who says, the best lead for me today is anybody who has a vehicle. Well,
Right.
that doesn't serve him well because everybody on the earth has a vehicle, and so you can't help that guy, But if he says I'm an expert I'm a bona fide world renowned expert in fixing Jaguars, well, then you can begin to think, all right, now I have some people that I know that drive those kinds of vehicles, and so I can help this guy and refer some. So clarity comes down to focusing on the right niche too. Now confidence. I mean, that's what Intrepid is all about. If you can be bold and fearless and be willing to experiment and try some new things, and not be afraid if they don't work, because you can move on to the next idea. Or you can move forward with a lot more confidence, and that confidence shines through, and you can see it and you can feel it, and people want to do business with people who just seem to be fearless and be confident and willing to move forward and blaze new trails.
Yeah, Todd. Yeah, I think it's really interesting too in thinking about the move from the things you were doing before, which a lot of our audience are things people are doing. Working in big buildings with big companies, and it's great, and they have great jobs, and there's terrific things that are happening, and yet still are under pressure to be everything, to be the mechanic who fixes all cars, as opposed to, just I'm the best, red Jaguar fixer in the world. I'm curious for you, was there a person, was there a story or an experience that was a turning point for you that kind of said that just for you personally, that, you were ready to move to that minimal approach to find that clarity or to build that confidence? Just curious as to how that evolved for you.
Yeah, no, I came to the realization, like a lot of people do when they ultimately make a decision to go to business for themselves, that they want to be their own boss. They want to do something the way that they feel is right for them to do it. They want to make their own decisions and not be beholden to someone to set their path. Life's too short, Darcy. I mean, life is too short. I mean, you and I met, and I think you and I met in 2010.
I think we'd start communicating then or something like that. Yeah.
2012. I mean, the clock is ticking, and so we were only on this earth for a small amount of time, and so what I wanted to do was what mattered to me, not what mattered to a corporate board of directors. And again, I'm not poo-pooing that. That's a wonderful life, and there's a lot of people thriving and loving that life. So, but it just wasn't me. But I started a business right after I got out of politics. I hooked up with an organization and started the Atlanta branch of this organization. And I had my ideas and my vision of how I wanted to do it, and I had a pace that I wanted to do it, and I wanted to do it in the way that made sense for me. It was comfortable for me, and allowed me to. I wanted to focus on fewer things and do them better. My partners wanted to do more things because they thought there was more revenue in that, and that just wasn't a good fit for me. And ultimately, I just withdrew from that and said, I want to do things at a different pace. So I want to do fewer. I want to do less, but I want to really, really excel and really achieve them. So it was my dalliance into corporate life, which I only did for a year. That was, it was like walking by a window and seeing a suit. That's beautiful. I'm buying it off the rack. I'm not even going to try it on. Getting home, putting it on, and saying, this doesn't quite fit very, very well, but I bet you if I wear it for a while, it's going to loosen up and feel more comfortable than it ever did. And so it wasn't the right life for me. And so it was that little adventure. And I learned a lot. It was a wonderful experience, financially lucrative, but it wasn't personally satisfying and personally gratifying. And that's, as we said, life's too short to be feeling that way. Yeah. So that little adventure post my political career, I realized that's just not where Todd Schnick belongs.
Yeah. Well, it's a great example too of putting on a suit that feels uncomfortable and just recognizing how long, where am I feeling comfortable or uncomfortable? I talk a lot about uncomfortable being the new comfortable, but there's a difference between the suit that doesn't fit and the uncomfortable of I don't quite have that yet, but I need to stretch through it. I need to grow through it. And I know one of the things that's a recent project for you is you have a new ebook coming out. It's called Kicking Fear's Ass, right? I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that and what motivated you to put that together.
Yeah, Darcy, I am the last person on earth that ought to be talking about how to kick fear's ass because I'm human. I'm just an average guy, and I battle fears every day, and we all do. And the people who tell you they don't, they're full of it. We're all struggling with that in different ways. In our personal life, in our business life, we're not pursuing dreams, we're not pursuing passions. There's probably things that you want to do, like write or learn how to play the piano, or go to learn how to run a full marathon. That you say, I just don't have the ability to do it. I don't have the time to do it. Well, that's an awful life. What this book was Darcy, everything I do on my blog, a lot of the reminders. Here's 10 ways to do this. Here's 10 reminders to do that. They're really notes to myself. These are things I'm doing to say, all right, Todd, I'm applying these lessons to myself. I hope my audience benefits. But the purpose of this book, Kicking Fear's Ass, is that fear affects all of us. The person who's achieving big things and is living this wild life, they're managing their fear. They're overcoming it, and they're mitigating it. So no one is fearless. But you can be in a position where you can manage that and use it to your advantage. So the purpose of this book is merely a tool. I asked 40 of my closest friends, of which you were very kind enough to offer to participate in that, and to share their story about how they've overcome fear, how they're battling fear, or how they have a great example or story of someone they know who has overcome fear in a way that they're now living the kind of life they want to live. And so it's merely to be a collection of these wonderful essays and stories that when down the road, when I need a reminder to say, all right, I'm not alone in this. There's a lot of people dealing with the demons that I'm dealing with in this. I can look at this and it inspires me to say, all right, let's charge forward. Or if I come across someone else who I can tell is being negatively impacted by fear, whether they're not willing to leave a corporate job they're unhappy with, pursue a dream, or whether they're not willing to do the work to train for a distance race, for instance, I can give them this as a say, look, you're not alone. So that's what the thing is. That's what the purpose of the book for me is a tool that we all can use. It's going to be a free ebook that you can just give to people who are struggling with fear and say, you're not alone, and here's some ideas and some ways. We like to, part of the thing about being fearful is that you're not willing to charge out alone, but there's some comfort knowing that you're not alone when you're dealing with fear.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea that you're not alone in that, because even, for what I do, I'm like you. I write things that I want reminders of for myself. Things that I'm trying to do, or things that I have done that work, but I don't always do it consistently. And it's constantly a growing process. And fear is with us. And I think a lot of times in the media, when we think of stories of big career transformation, or people getting promotions, or trying new things, or just really, coming into what I call their superpowers, bringing them to work, that we think, well, that just happened because, they just plunge forward, just, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. And we forget that, there are those quiet moments. There is that fear that all of us have to get over. It's just natural. It's that lizard brain that Seth Godin talks about, that, the resistance that Steve Pressfield talks about. I know you've done a lot of writing and reading, work with both of those guys, and it's just so important. So how can we get your ebook?
Yeah, well, the book is going to be published this month. I've been awfully busy, and I keep getting delayed on the publishing of it, and I can't tell you at this moment what the exact publishing date's going to be. It's probably going to be within the next week or two, but you'll be able to go to my website, which is intrepid-llc.com, and you'll be able to find it there and be able to download it for free.
Great. Terrific. And we'll certainly have it on redcaperevolution.com in our free tools and tips, and certainly we'll have it attached to this post and share it with our audience as well. And thank you, Todd, for the work that you did in putting that together. And, as a free ebook, to be able to share those stories with other people, and you'll encourage people that when they see it to, keep passing it on, to keep sharing it with others. So, Todd, any last words around, thinking about getting your clarity, building your confidence, or taking control in your career and your life?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for promoting the book and the idea, and thank you again for contributing to it. One quick note on, when we talked about the uncomfortable suit, I got to tell you, it feels really good to wear my superhero cape. and I think that's when I think about your idea and how you envelop your vision behind these superpowers and this red cape revolution. It's a mindset. And I'm not going to go around wearing a red cape actually, but I like the idea of thinking that, well, I kind of have one, and I can pretend that I have one, and it's like the notion of how they used to coach you when you were afraid of public speaking to think about the people in the audience being naked, and it would make you just kind of relax a little bit because you were kind of thinking, oh my gosh, I imagine what that person would look like naked. And it kind of relaxes you and calms you down. Mm-hmm. It's the same kind of principle where I kind of imagine myself wearing this red cape because then I feel more confident. And I think, all right, I kind of blow up a little bit, and I project a more confident image, and I feel better about myself. I probably come across bigger and stronger and more confident to the person or people that I'm addressing. And how important is that in terms of that image conveying to that audience that you're trying to talk to, whether it's one person or many, that this guy is not afraid to fail. Mm-hmm. He's not afraid to experiment and try new things. I want to be part of that with him or her, and so I ask your audience to, and I commend you for promoting this idea of this red cape revolution, because I think the notion of pretending and feeling like you're wearing that, I think just naturally just puts you in a state mentally where you're feeling more confident and almost kind of quietly laughing at yourself. But I think that relaxation just says, you know what, life's going to come at me and I'm going to come right back at it. So my last words of advice are for your audience to really think about that and how that can just change their whole attitude and approach to life.
Great. Thank you so much, Todd. And thank you for your support of Red Cape Revolution. Congratulations on the ebook coming out. And, thank you for being somebody who is bringing his superpowers to work and really making a difference, with your audience, with your clients, and with people in the world. I think, we all want to be doing that, whether it means starting our own business or whether it means changing, how we're thinking about the work we are right where we are. So thanks very much. Again, we're here with Todd Schnick, and this is Darcy Eikenberg, and we'll sign out for now and see you next time. Thanks, Todd.